Motivated minority meet and talk about things that matter. Once again, Wall Street economics, DC politics hitting Main Street. And today's episode, we're talking about a couple issues here that matter and matter very much. We're going to go back, actually, start off with our lead. And we said that's going to be the back to school special. Part of the matter is that whether you're a parent, whether you're a grandparent, or whether you are looking after people who are heading back to school, we're just talking about a couple little things that could lead to a successful year. And of course, back to school also means off to college as well. So all these things matter, and they matter a ton, because the fact of the matter is, one of the things that are going to help power people through and have a good, successful school year is really about starting off on the right foot. And what we mean by that is we're on the front foot. We are actually taking action, not on the back foot waiting for things to come to us. So one thing that can really make a difference is a morning routine. Yes, folks, a morning routine to get up and get ready and get yourself starting the day on the right foot. And we talk about little things here, like when the alarm goes off, you will think about the idea. What will you do when the alarm goes off? Some people say hit the snooze button. Some people put the pillow over their head. Some people will even say, I don't want morning to come. Another group of people will sit there and do the death or the doom scrolling on their phone. And what they'll wind up doing is not getting anything done. That precious 5 to 10 minutes at the very beginning of the day. I would argue that having a plan and a routine to get started right away, when the alarm goes off, you will, in my case, sit up, do neck stretches, sit up, do my leg stretches, then get up, right? So there's two little sequences of things that I get done almost immediately. And the fact is, when you get in the habit of doing something immediately when the alarm goes off, taking action, and you could conceivably have 3 or 4 things done in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the day, and that really creates momentum. And when you have momentum, chances are you have other things that will work in your favor. So I want to remind you of that. Ave, welcome. Glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you here. Go ahead, hit like and subscribe. Glad to have you here once again. PM Vids and Pub, thank you for joining me. You are awesome. And let's go ahead. A couple things here that I want to share with you. All right, the gang's all here. Welcome to the Economic Report. And we're talking about really the back to school stretch. I already spoke about that, but I will give you a couple little things here to get you started. Whether you're a grandparent, a parent, maybe you are just that person who is in school right now in some capacity, whether it's college, maybe it's getting up for a job, whatever it is, just a reminder that having a routine first thing in the morning really matters a ton. All right. Uzbekistan, glad to have you. Welcome to the Economic Report. You are awesome, and thank you for subscribing. So with that, remember, when the bell rings in the morning, the alarm goes off in the morning, that you have action steps you're ready to take. You plan these out the night before. I'd mentioned before, I go through a stretching routine for my neck, for my feet, and then I get up and make the bed right away, like boom, boom, boom. 3 things right away in the morning. And once again, when you get in the habit of getting things done immediately, first thing in the morning, chances are you keep that chain going throughout the course of the day. That's a very, very powerful place, and it can take you to great, great places. So I want to remind you of that. And maybe part of setting up a successful day in the morning is make sure you're well planned out the night before. Maybe it takes 3 to 5 minutes to really get yourself situated to get things done. And with that, these are the little things that matter a ton. Laying out your clothes, having your shoes by the door, if you have a morning workout routine. And of course, we talked about a couple things we're trying to avoid. What's the opposite of being productive? Well, the opposite of being productive is being unproductive. Pillow over the head, blocking your ears, hitting the snooze button, you get the picture. So I'm sharing that with you because these little things matter and they matter a ton. You have a plan to be productive and make the most out of your day. So that was the intro here for the economic report. And once again, where your mindset matters very, very much. What we're trying to establish here is quite simply a mindset that is really about the motivated minority of us that really want to get up and do things, because I'm here to tell you it's contagious. It is absolutely contagious that the vast majority of people aren't motivated. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't even know why they're doing half the things that they do. And of course, if you're talking about doom scrolling all over again, then you get the idea of really what's going on here. So what I say is instead be a person of, be the minority of people. The minority of people are the ones who actually have some kind of a motivation and some kind of a plan to move their game forward. So this is the economic report, but we're really drilling this one down to the very motivated minority of us that are out getting things done. So I want to remind you of that. And folks, make sure you are liked and subscribed so we can go on to the next matter, because the next matter matters a ton. And with that, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Putin and Trump meeting that's going on right now. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is for a few things. It's, once again, the motivated minority of us want to at least have a bird's eye view of what's going on. And of course, everybody's talking Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. And not saying that Ukraine is not an important thing. I think it does figure into the discussion here between Trump and Putin, but make no question about it. You'll notice there's not a real big audience invited to this summit between the two of them. Instead, you'll notice that Trump is meeting with Putin. They'll probably have some translators in there. They'll probably have their team there, but you'll notice there's not a bunch of other foreign countries there. And there's a reason why, because my belief is they're talking about things beyond Ukraine. They'll be talking possibly about trade deals. They'll be talking about the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency. They'll be talking about Israel and Iran. Make no question about it. They are going to be talking about China, North Korea, and of course, maybe reviving Russia's standing with trade in Western Europe, because I think they are a huge upside potential for that country. And so just understand, Trump has already spoken to the people in Europe, spoken to Zelensky of Ukraine, and he wants to go in and make sure that he doesn't make mistakes, first of all. And secondly, maybe open up a position so there can be a second, and we're saying a second meeting in the not too distant future. And of course, if you're Trump and you do those things, you've really done a lot. And that's kind of the things that we're talking about here today as well. So already the news is hyping up the meeting. They're hyping up a bunch of information with nothing that's really taken place. I can promise you that we will cover this in more detail on Monday when we have some real things to talk about, not pure speculation. So thank you for liking and subscribing. We're going to go on to the next story here, which deals with really the market roundup. And the market roundup here, once again, if you are from a different country, put your flag in there. If you are from a different place inside the Anglosphere, whether it's Canada, the United States, Australia, maybe you are from the UK, whatever, drop your flag in there as well. And if you're from the United States, go ahead and drop your zip code, because I'd love to know where you folks are from. And with that, let's go ahead and go on to the market wrap, because it's been a crazy week in crypto. Yes, I'm going to start there with crypto service for a couple of reasons. Bitcoin. I think it's a great place to start today. I'm noticing that Bitcoin's trading at $117,000 per coin right now, and that market's not closed, but I will say that that's really about an $8,000 range from where it was at 125 approximately to about 117 right now. And so what does that mean? That means a pretty large fluctuation there, about 6 to 7%. So I want you to be aware of that, that's kind of a down week for Bitcoin. Maybe it's consolidation, maybe it's a sell-off. I don't have Bitcoin in my personal portfolio, but we are talking about that stuff because it seems to be a matter worth discussing. Of course, the next thing we could talk about without a doubt, we're going to get a quote on Ethereum. It's had a big week so far, so let's check out where Ethereum is trading right now. The symbol is ETH. I just typed that in as in price. Okay, so Ethereum's trading at 4,417 bucks per coin, and that means it is, well, this week it has been on a roller coaster ride as well. Over the whole week, it's up still about $165 or so. So just sharing that with you because that too matters very much. But it's most definitely finishing off the week, as in people appear to be selling off their Ethereum as well, which takes us to Solana. And of course, as a disclosure, I do hold Solana, and trust me, don't follow exactly what I'm saying to do with Solana as much as just making you aware that I do have a holding here. So I got a slight bias. I'm more biased when it's actually up as opposed to down. So just sharing, it's about 184 bucks. It was up to 200 at one point in time this week. So it appears as though all the cryptos have gone up and then, of course, traded off a little bit as well. And hey, you know what? Some of these things could be like really directly related to the Russia and U.S. meeting with Trump and Putin right now. Just throwing that out there to you as well. That world political movements definitely have effects on world markets as well, and not just stock markets, but of course oil prices, crypto prices, and yes, even precious metals prices as well. So gold right now is trading at $3,335 per ounce. I'm sharing that with you also because it is on a downward trajectory this week. And so I share that with you. It's closing at its lows of the week. We can go ahead and check out silver as well. More than likely, silver is trading what they would say in sympathy with. And we can go ahead and take a look at silver because silver is also AKA poor man's gold. All right, so it appears to be right about at the week low as well. So just making sure that we're covering our top stories. And of course, our top stories this week or this Friday in our live session tended to be what? We talked about back to school. We talked about the Russia and U.S. meeting in Alaska and maybe some of the wider range of topics. That's part of the reason why they don't have other countries there. And maybe where those directions go, because I'm quite certain there's probably some brief understandings as to what's going on and why it's going on. Of course, we also spoke a little bit about gold and silver, and of course the cryptos. And I want to remind you, this is the economic report, and the key to the economic report is, let's face it, folks, the vast majority of people who are following the stories here, it's a very motivated minority that want a little bit more for themselves. They want a little bit more on their angle. And of course, they're not going to be the doom scrollers. They're going to be the people who tend to really care about their financial future, their news feed they're getting, and cutting through a lot of the crap. And that's what we try to do here at the Economic Report. My name is Brian. You have been awesome. And a couple parting thoughts here. I want to remind you that the biggest battle you fight is the one between your ears, over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Don't ever forget that. And last piece of parting advice, make sure you smile, say hello to somebody, because it doesn't cost you a cent, and you have a superpower there to put a smile on somebody else's face. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you next live, which will be Monday, approximately 4:30 p.m. Have a great day, and don't forget to be awesome.